Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay, Mastermind with Neil Schwartz and our special guest today, Landon Anglin. Yay, Landon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it was a year ago, April of 21, when we first met you in our mastermind group. You shared all kinds of super things, and we saw you again here just recently at the Superstar Retreat, and now again today. We really appreciate you, your time, your energy, your consistency, and looking forward to sharing some interesting things that you've talked about before, and also maybe some things that you can share of some things that are going on in your future. So, Landon, if you'll just take a couple of minutes and just give us the basics of your business, your career. A lot of agents have watched your video before, but if you could bring us all up to speed, that would be great.
Up to speed, okay. Man, I don't remember what was shared, so hopefully I don't repeat myself too much. But since then, this year we're going to be shooting for 125 transactions. Is where we were. Goal is 150, but we'll be just shy of that. I have two buyers agents, hiring on a third. We just had to let one go. But I'll always consistently hold 3 buyers agents. I have 2 assistants, transaction coordinator and a listing coordinator. And my main job is to prospect all day, go on appointments, and list homes.
Got it. Perfect. So of the 125, 135 that you're going to do this year, how many of those are yours?
So I'll be probably right around 80 to 90.
Okay. Excellent. Fantastic. And you started how many years ago?
I started in 2013. January of 2013 was my first year.
Got it. So what's that, 9 years ago?
9 years, yep.
Got it. And just before that, you were on a mission, correct?
Yep. I was serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, knocking doors in Kentucky.
You know, no kidding. I think that is a phenomenal, groundbreaking opportunity for guys and gals to learn how to door knock and phone canvas. A lot of people that we interview start their careers that way.
Oh yeah.
The whole state must be door knocking something.
we do a lot of door knocking here, so that's for sure.
Very, very cool. Well, good. So you didn't have any real other job before real estate?
No. My wife always makes fun of me. I was a lifeguard when I asked her to marry me, and my father-in-law was like, yeah, you're not going to be able to support her. Come work for me. So yeah, from lifeguard to doing landscape to selling real estate. It's been my life.
How long did you do the landscaping?
Oh, I didn't even make it a year. I got office hands, so I was not about the landscape career.
Got it. Well, look, you take over dad's business, but if you did that, you'd probably be making less money, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, you started, as I recall, from in an area where you didn't grow up. It was a completely strange neighborhood to you. You got that. You came from Salt Lake City to, what was the name of the town?
Cedar City.
Cedar City.
I'm about 2 hours north of Las Vegas.
And you went to Cedar City because?
A close friend of mine, he was selling real estate here. and he wanted to move to a bigger state. And so he saw that I was selling pest control at the time, going door to door. Then I went back to door and told me to give up pest control, selling door to door, and start selling houses.
Got it.
So my
you
wife and I moved out on a whim, not knowing a soul, and started our business here.
started basically ground zero, or did you buy
Ground,
your partner?
well, it was supposed to be buying, but he didn't tell anyone that I was taking over, so it was a good time. But that's all right.
Oh, so you actually really did start ground zero.
Yeah, ground zero. Didn't know a soul. My first two listings were, I think, like a $2,000 lot that I listed, and I had no idea what to do. It was just found cold calling.
Got it. Interesting. So that's really where you started your business. You started, I'm going to say, what did we say, 9 years ago?
9 years ago, yeah.
9 years ago, door knocking and phone canvassing in a town that was brand new to you. So you were just like a brand new licensee, but really even more brand new.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a COI to lean on. I didn't have anyone I could ask for business. I had to go find it.
Wow. And so you just started door knocking.
Started door knocking. Majority of it was all just listed, just sold calls. And then I found for sale by owners, and that was way easier than the just listed, just solds. And I've kept both of those in my arsenal.
So Landon, let me ask you a question. How many, the first year in the business, how many listings did you take?
I don't know about listings. I did 38 deals my first year.
38.
I know that.
Okay. So half buyer sellers, or how'd that work?
That would probably be fair. I've always been more listing heavy. But at that time I was willing to work with anyone that was going to pay me.
Landon, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I don't know very many people from ground zero to their end of their first year in business that do 38 transactions. What'd you do different?
Not get off the phone unless I had an appointment. I had $0, and so my wife, she was going to school and working Graves at the time, so to support us. So if I was going to make it happen to get her off of school and work, then I had to make something. So I was literally in the office prospecting from 8 to 6 every day.
So you're what we refer to as a have to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. So let me ask you a question, Landon. Could anybody do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You really think there's nothing special about you? There's nothing super extraordinary, et cetera, et cetera. You think everybody, if they did what you did, could get what you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about the Mike Ferry system is they tell you exactly what to say and how to do it and what to do. So that's what I did. I thought it would be normal for everyone to jump in and just do what they say and do what they tell you to do, but apparently it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, so many agents are given that similar opportunity, but they don't have your look. You had 2 years of door knocking. How many doors do you think you knocked in the 2 years on the mission?
Well, that schedule was even harder. I mean, you were out at 8 a.m. and back at 9 p.m. So if you think selling real estate is hard, go sell God in Kentucky and the Bible Belt. Shoot.
Okay. Wow. My mouth drops. I mean, it does in 38 transactions. So what'd you do your second year?
Second year, I think I made it into the 60s.
Wow. Same routine, door knocking, phone canvassing, scripts, dialogues.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I mean, I didn't know anything at the time. And so I was practicing probably an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. I would break it up. It wasn't just one session. But I would role play in the morning, do some dialing, practice in the afternoon, do some more dialing, and then I would end it with more practice. So dialing, practice, dialing, and practice.
Did you do any previewing a property, or was that just Was it?
I did it online. I didn't go around town. I didn't know the towns, so I did look at what was available, what's been selling, to know the areas. Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. So in learning the scripts and dialogues, was there any, I mean, when you say you practiced it, did you actually practice and still do the listing presentation the way it's?
Oh yeah,
So, well, wait,
absolutely.
you use the listing presentation as it's written still today in your business?
I think you got to tweak it to what the market was. I mean, gosh, last 2 years, you just had to show up at a house and know how to sign a contract, and it was easy. So I would not waste their time going into the whole thing. Now we're seeing a shift. I am bringing back the car salesman, the car analogy type deal on the script. I'm asking every single question. So you just have to adapt. And I think that's what makes it from being a robot to actually having a conversation and being a good salesman is actually learning the scripts internally. So yes, I would ask every question, but do I do it the same every time? No, it's based upon what that person tells me.
Okay, that makes sense. A lot of deals being done in Cedar City, a lot of opportunity there, or, I
There's a
mean,
lot of growth. All you guys from California are coming my way, so make sure you save my number when they sell. I'll make sure to get you a referral fee.
we'll put you down in the chat box and lay that out for you 100%. That'll get done. Fantastic. So want to know in terms of Cedar City, in terms of competition, a lot of other real estate agents do your kind of business?
Not my type of business, but there are a lot of agents. I deal with a lot of homegrown people that have been here for years, gone to high school, generations of family here. And so it's more so not necessarily competition, but family and friend ties that we have to overcome.
And are you pretty good at that?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So it's the business that you're generating, the just listed, just sold, the expireds for sale by owners, they really do have friends in the business, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They
Yeah.
have
I mean,
friends.
gosh, in my small town, like you bump into people everywhere. And so they're going to know a handful of agents. Absolutely.
Got it. And so what's your percentage of listing appointment to listing sale? To listing take
Listing taken, I'm
Yeah.
about 85, 90%.
85, 90%. So you use the pre-qualifying script. Everybody in your town they don't have a friend in the business. They have 5 friends in the business.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. And then you're still going to go out there and you end up 80, 85% of the time getting the listing when everybody else has got a friend.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's from all those years of practice. I'm very confident in what we do and what to say, and that people see that. I am 100% like Mike Ferry believes. Once you know what to say, people are going to see that, and if you don't know what to say, they're also going to see that. And so I didn't want people to know that I was not confident. I mean, gosh, I started 2013. I was only 21 years old. And I was bald back then too, but people were like, oh, people our age, right? And I was like, oh yeah, all the time. They had no idea I was selling their house at 21 years old, but it's because of how I presented myself and how I talked.
So knowledge equals confidence.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Very, very cool. Okay. So there are days when you don't feel like doing this, right?
Yes.
Are they getting, well, it's an interesting thing, the way you smiled about that. The longer you're in it, are there more days you'd rather not do this or less days or the same? What's going on as you've been doing this more?
Well, I mean, doing this for years, having the volume we're doing. I mean, luckily we got money in the bank, and so the I have to do this type deal is not always there. And so for those that were at the retreat, I mean, you guys heard about my wheel of doom, and what I have riding on the line is if I don't take 3 listings this week, I got to go get fake eyelashes. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to get 3 listings this week.
So you're shooting for 12 a month?
12 a month. Yeah.
12 a month. Okay, fantastic. And you haven't had to get the fake eyelashes yet, huh?
Not yet. No. So it ends on Saturday. And so we'll be good. We're at 2 right now, and I should take 1 more today. So we'll be fine.
Yeah, you can take my listing if you want.
And I appreciate it.
Okay, good job. I'm not selling, but you can have the listing.
Hey, as long as there's ink on the paper.
Exactly. Fantastic. So you keep yourself and your head in the game with accountability partners, sounds like.
Absolutely. I have accountabilities for everything.
So to talk about that a little bit.
What do you want to know?
Well, when you say you have accountabilities for everything, I mean, what do you exercise, getting home at certain times, making sure you're at the office at certain times? Talk about
Not
that.
necessarily, I mean, getting to the office at certain times, but yes, like I have a fitness accountability. I have a spiritual accountability. I have listings taken, listing appointment accountability. I have 3-4 guys that I prospect with every day on Skype. So like if they see me that I'm constantly leaving my office, they'll ask me what I'm doing. I'm just constantly reporting with people throughout the day.
And that helps keep you focused.
Absolutely. Because I mean, on the days like you were saying, you don't want to go in. I'm the type of person that I don't want to let them know that I slacked off and didn't do what I was supposed to do. So knowing I have to report to these people, and it's not just one, like I probably have 8 to 12 accountability partners if I count them all out in different areas.
What's the average commission in your town?
My average commission is right around 8 grand.
8 grand gross.
Yeah.
And you do basically 100 deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're making 800,000, and then there's another 25 to 40 transaction your team makes. So
yeah. So we'll be pushing over $1 million this year is the goal.
Over $1 million, right? How many years have you pushed over $1 million?
This would be the first one. Last year I barely missed it.
Interesting. Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would suspect that earning $1 million a year in Cedar City makes you one of the, if not the highest earner in town.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Unless somebody else owns the town.
There's locals that own a lot of land here, but yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a question on that thought. I suspect you own your home.
I do.
I suspect you own some real estate as rentals.
I do.
Right. You already said you have cash in the bank. So you don't really, how many kids?
5.
Okay, well, that can get expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But I would suspect you're a conservative guy. It sounds like you come from a conservative family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You've never had what you have.
Oh no.
Right.
First year when we did 38 deals, my wife and I blew all that money, and it was a struggle. We thought we were kings and queens at 38 transactions.
I got it. So you kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did what almost every real estate agent on the planet does. You probably didn't even pay your taxes either, did you?
No, we did, but we still ran out of money. But it was a good lesson learned.
Good, excellent. Okay, so 9 years later, you got the watches that you want, and your wife has the dresses and the jewelry that she wants, and you have the real estate, and you got the cash in the bank. What keeps you going, my friend?
I love the grind. I'm young. I'm only 31 years old, and so I have a mastermind group. We all created 5-year plans, and that's really what's driving me right now is that accountability of the 5-year plan.
So you mind sharing where you think you'll be in 5 years?
5 years. So what we're trying to decide is if we want to grow a bigger team or if we just want to keep it lean and mean. Right now, I think I'm going to cap it at the three buyers agent and just keep it lean and mean. But we're really working on passive income. So just working what I sell and putting it back into real estate for passive cash flow.
Good for you.
So within the 5 years, we want to have 15,000 a month passive income.
Good. I like that. $180,000 a year coming in every month, whether you need it or not.
Yep.
Like
And
that.
then we'll just keep growing that.
Right. Good. So what are you reading? What do you listen to that helps keep you focused?
Right now, I've really, really enjoyed Ed Milet from podcasts. I was just listening to him. I listened to Chasing Excellence with Ben Bergeron. He's a CrossFit. I don't know if people know CrossFit, but a CrossFit coach. And he focuses a lot on leadership. And then John Maxwell, a leadership podcast. So I'm really trying to focus on leadership to see if I want to be a manager of people or just keep focusing on myself and growing my business. So that's what we're trying to decide right now.
Great, Landon. Landon, you look pretty fit, are you?
I try to be. There's a lot of fitter people out there.
Well, I understand that, but is that your being fit and taking care of your body on a daily, weekly basis? Is that part of your success, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Wake up every day at 4:00. I'm at the gym from 5 to 6:37 every day.
Wow, that's quite a commitment.
Yeah.
Good for you. Oh, awesome. So what do you think your superpower is, Landon?
My superpower, man, that's a great question. I would probably say consistency. I'm consistently doing what I need to do to have the the compound effect. And there's days, even several days string in a row, where I don't get any appointments set, any listings taken. But then there's days where I get 5 to 10. And so if you're consistently doing what you're supposed to do, it all evens out.
Well, Landon, let's talk about that for just a second. You go 3-5 days without getting an appointment. That happens occasionally.
Yeah, it's normal.
But when that happens, don't you think maybe you need to change what you're doing or get a new system, or maybe go into the coaching business or something? I don't know.
When I first started out, I saw all these top producers say the same thing of, hey, if you consistently do what you're supposed to do, it'll all work out. And so if they're making more money than me, why would I try to rewrite what's already written?
What do you say to the people that are always trying to rewrite?
They're not going to make it.
Interesting. But they don't believe you, huh?
Oh, no way.
And here you were, 21 years old, started out going down this road for 9 years, and now you are where most people will never be in their lives.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
All from consistency.
All from consistency. That's great. Fantastic. Landon, let's take a couple of minutes, talk a little bit about, or open it up to some questions before we move on here. Let's do that. Let's see, Robert, is there something in the chat box there?
No, I think someone was trying to type that Landon is awesome, but it didn't come through yet. So it's still circulating.
They changed their mind.
Yeah.
Okay. People get crazy when people come on like you, Landon, that not this group, but other groups that are watching this. And they get nuts and they look at it and say, how can this guy, starting at 21, he's 31, he's younger or as young as the youngest people that are on this. And, you're putting one foot in front of the other on a daily basis consistently and just basically crushing it. I mean, I could double your sales price by helping you move to Newport Beach. When do you plan on moving?
With your guys' taxes, I don't think I'll ever move.
Oh, yeah, but if you make 3 times as much money, who cares about the taxes?
That's true. Very true.
So we'll work on that later. Okay, questions for Landon. just raise your hand or.
So I have a question, Landon, going back to the listing presentation, you said you kind of customize it sometimes based on the client. So give me an example. Is it based on like a personality style? Is it based on if it's a past client, center of influence? Like, give me an example of where this might not be the time that I need to go through the entire thing word for word.
It's all just based upon what they tell me in the pre-qualification.
Okay.
If they say, yes, I'm ready to sign, I'm going to go out there and say, here's the comps, this is the price. Do we all agree? Awesome. Sign the contract. There's no point in trying to smooth them by trying to be glamorous. I just get in, get out. Let's move on to the next type deal.
Got it. Okay.
But I do push it on definitely personality styles. And I don't want you guys to think that I don't follow the script, but sometimes they just don't need to hear all of it. And
Right.
So you just need to understand on what they need to hear, because that's when you are truly good at sales. If you understand what they need and the time that you're actually going out there versus just winging it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that answers my
Does that
question.
answer your question?
Yeah, no, you just take the pre-qual, and based on their pre-qual,
Pre-qual is everything.
do I really need to go through all of this, or do I need to
If you're
just,
not pre-qualifying, you shouldn't even go out. You're just wasting time.
Did you guys all hear that? Say,
yeah.
say the first part. I think you guys were talking over each other, but you said something first about the pre-qual, Landon.
Yeah, if you're not pre-qualifying, don't even go out, just because you'd just be wasting your time. Occasionally you'll get lucky and land a listing, but if you don't know what they want or what they need, you're not going to be able to get the sell 9 times out of 10.
No truer words are spoken. Good. Landon, do you have a particular script or dialogue or situation when this happens, you say this, and you get the listing almost every time? Is something like that ever happened to you, or happens to you on a regular basis?
Do you have an example? I mean,
so
my buyer's agents always get mad because I'll say something and they're like, "Can you repeat that?" I'm like, "It's gone, guys.
Yeah,
I have no idea what I just said."
So the example I'll give you is years ago when I first tackled the expired script. This goes back centuries, I think. There was one line, I think it's point 14, where in there it says, "Are you familiar with the techniques I use to get home sold?" Familiar with that one?
Yeah.
I found that very egotistical. I found it very difficult to say. It sounded pompous from my perspective. Okay. But being, coachable, I just kept doing it. One day, I ran out of closes on somebody. I had nothing else to say, and I was getting annoyed at the client. And I said, "Hey, hold it. Are you familiar with the techniques I use to get home sold?" He says, "No, I don't even know you." That's exactly why we should meet. And from then on, that became my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything like that in your world that you can think of?
I'll probably just break it down to I do a lot of just listed, just sold. I get a lot of business from that. And so as I'm getting to the end of the script where we ask them, like, "Are you familiar with this road? We just sold this home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath off of Primrose." I always say, if the price was right, would you consider selling your home? So I would not give them a price on their home, but I'll always just say, if the price was right for you, would you consider selling your home? And that's gotten me into a lot of doors on just listed, just solds.
So let me ask you a question, though. You don't ask that first. You go through the whole script first.
I'll go through the probably 3 to 4 questions of the script, and then I'll ask that.
Okay, because tomorrow in our prospecting, we will be hearing, "If I could get your home sold at a price that you'll accept." That's going to be all we're going to be hearing. Okay. They're not going to use the first part of the script, but the first part of the script builds the rapport, right?
Exactly.
builds whatever relationship you're going to build. And then when you ask that question, they're like,
Yeah.
well, I guess there is a price, let's talk about it.
Yeah. It's happened to me 2 times today. Absolutely.
Wow. But you do the whole script first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robert,
Yep.
you have to write that down, and we have to copy this segment out because we're going to have to be repeating it to people all day tomorrow.
Got it.
Do the script.
All right.
Do the script, close after that. Yep.
All right, good. Questions for?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Patty.
Hi, thank you so much for talking with us. You said that you do a lot of for sale by owners, and I was wondering, do you do any tweaks on that, or do you just do the survey, or? how do
I've
you
done
work?
them both ways. I'll do a lot of the script. The script has a lot of great questions. And so it just depends on how long they've been on the market, or if I'm following up with them for the 3rd or 4th time. But the first one, I always try to stick to the script.
Do you try to get to see the house first, or no, only if they're ready to?
That's a great question. If they will not set an appointment, I will set up a preview appointment. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Your job
Yep.
is to, one way or the other, you're going to get to that house.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, if they won't set an appointment, I'll preview it. I will not make that preview into an appointment, because then they're going to get pissed at you. But I will bring my plan of action. I'll bring some comparables, and I'll try to set an actual appointment while I'm previewing the home.
Hey, Landon, you brought up a good point. Patty, great question. Thank you. But you brought up a great point. So your plan of action is much different than Mike Ferry's, correct?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's kind of the point I wanted to make, is that there's nothing special about your plan of action, but it gets you 12 listings a month.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, they didn't want to hear that one either. Okay. Gee.
I think Joey has a corner or a hand in the corner. I don't know.
Joey,
That means
go,
he has a
Joey.
question.
Joey Rodriguez, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for having me. Quick question. You said that you would go, maybe 3 or 4 days without setting an appointment. What's the longest period of time that you've gone without setting an appointment? And then what would you do to get your mindset back on track in order to pretty much refocus on your goal?
I don't know the longest period. I try not to think about that. I mean, that's just thinking about negative stuff that we can't control. What you can control is your actions. And so if I'm kind of in a rut, like for instance, the other day, I'm in a college town. So a lot of my friends that are younger, still doing the college route, I texted 3 of them and said, I need to make 60 contacts, set 3 appointments. If I don't do that, I'm going to pay each of you $100. And they were hounding me all day. And I did not pay them $100. I got what I needed to.
Wow.
So I'm a way from pain type of guy. So you got to find out what works for you. And so I know accountability is what works for me. And so if I'm in a rut, I'll set something up to where I have to do that.
Got you. Thank you.
That's great. Joey, good question. Great answer, Landon. Thank you. Other questions for Landon, please? Let's go. Anyone else got their hand up here? Come on, come on. Everybody know? Go ahead. Who said that? Shasha, you have a question?
Yes.
Speak up just a
Landon,
little.
So my question is, what, I know that you created a lot of accountability. What are the consequences of the accountability that keep you going? And you create like 8, 12 of them. Thank you.
They're all different. With my prospecting buddies, we have that wheel of doom that I've talked about. My staff spins it every week and they create the consequences, so they enjoy it. Some of it's money, some of it, like if I don't reach my contacts every day, I owe my staff lunch the next day. If I don't call my current clients, I owe my staff a meal or a day off. So like it all varies. It all varies.
Good question, Shasha. Thanks. Okay, other questions for Landon here? Patty, did you have?
Yeah, I
another-
have another one. So you started off door knocking, and then since you're so busy, do you still door knock or do you just do phones?
I do phones mainly. I'll door knock. I won't go door to door like I did in the past, but I will go knock doors that I need to. Like if a for sale by owner, expired, a lead is not getting back to me, I'll go to their door.
Okay, thank
Hey,
you.
good question, Patty. Landon, on the issue, since you do a lot of just listed, just sold still, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So how do you deal with, or maybe there isn't this problem in Utah, where when you dial someone, your phone number comes up as spam or trash or something like that? How do you deal with that?
I've tried a few different ways. I mean, I've gone straight to Verizon to have them undo that. I've gotten a Google number. Yeah, I don't have too many people that have reported me, so luckily my number still shows.
Okay, so you're just not not
I've
running
found
kind of stuff.
that the more nice and polite you are on the phones, like I just had a guy that was super upset yesterday, and he told me that he was on the do not call list. I was super polite about it, and he called me back and apologized to me just because of how I handled it.
Interesting. But I'm not referring to the do not call right now as much as I'm referring to, and maybe this is just a California thing. When we make a call out on our cell phones, the call sometimes shows up as a junk call or a trash call or a spam call.
Oh, gotcha. I haven't dealt with that, so I don't have
You
an
don't
answer
know
for that.
You're not knowing that. You don't even know if that's a problem for you.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I still get, so on Just Listed, Just Sold, I'll get 10 to 12 people an hour. And that's been my entire career. So if it pops up as a spam number, people are still picking up for me. So I've heard other agents though switch over to their office line. Like I use Vulcan. I think I saw someone ask what dialer I use. I use Vulcan. You can pick and choose. I have a buddy in Minnesota. He just switched over to his office number on Vulcan, and he said he had a lot more people pick up. So maybe switch to a landline if your office provides one.
Interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting, Robert. Maybe we ought to look at, maybe this is a cell phone issue as opposed to a landline issue.
Could be.
Wow, fascinating. Okay, other
Someone
questions?
popped up with a question. I don't know how to get to that though.
Go.
So it looks like there's a question, two questions. One, which dialer do you use?
Vulcan.
And the other question is, you know your scripts well. How long did it take you to learn them and internalize them?
It's a good question. I guess it would depend on what internalize means to you. In my head, it was I wanted to know them. If someone came at me with a question, I didn't want to stutter. I didn't want to have to think about it. And I would say it took me the first year or two to really feel comfortable and confident with it.
Okay. And did you spend more time in the morning or afternoon to learn them?
I did both.
Yeah.
I would say probably evenly.
There you
Okay,
go.
good. All right, good question. Thank you. Michelle had a question first.
I know this is a passive activity, but with your, you're heavy on the listings. Are you running an open house or having your staff run an open house?
Last 2 years, no. Homes were just selling too fast. They were pointless. We may get into that. When it was a slower time, I didn't have enough staff or buyer's agents to hold an open house. So I don't know
Okay.
what
I
we'll
was just
do.
Curious. Okay.
Oh, good question.
All right, really good. Thanks. Iris, did you have your hand up? No? Other, some Tess, did you?
Yes.
Tess, go ahead.
Hi, Landon. Hope you're doing
Hi,
well.
Tess.
A question for you. Walk me to this. You call in Vulcan. when do you actually move, or do you use Vulcan as your CRM, or do you have another CRM that you use for aside from Vulcan?
That's a
Or
good
is it-
question. So are you asking about like leads I get from cold calling, or what do you mean?
Yeah, where once you get that lead on Vulcan, do you actually use a CRM like Follow Up Boss or KV Core or Real Geek?
Good question. I have Follow Up Boss, but that's more of like my personal COI of people that actually know me, and that I'll reach out to frequently. I'll keep them in Vulcan. I'll use their appointment tab. I use the schedule all the time to make sure I'm properly following up with them before I set an appointment. And then once I have met with them, that's when they move into the Follow Up Boss.
Got it, got it. So the follow-up boss would, so really you don't have a drip campaign on, because we don't have a drip campaign on the Vulcan, right? So you use.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, I think Follow Up Boss is probably like way too advanced for my knowledge. I'm very old school, and all I do is call people and follow up with them. I've heard about these drip campaigns, but I've never done it.
Got it. Okay, make it simple.
Yeah, I've tried to keep everything simple.
All right, thank you.
Wow, no drip campaigns. Doesn't sound like you have a lot of social media. How do you do this?
No.
How do you stay in business?
Pick up the phone.
That's great. Landon, fantastic. Very, very cool. Okay, so first of all, everybody unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves, please. All right, let's give Landon a big hand. Woo! All right.
Thank you.
Landon, this was fantastic. I really, really appreciate it. Good stuff. Very, very good.
Oh, thanks for having me back.
Landon, right now we're going to take a few minutes and kind of go around the room and ask the agents what they learned from this segment and share ideas. If you have a hard stop, we certainly understand it. And as soon as we have this this video ready to go, we'll send you a copy of it. Shouldn't be more than a day or two. All right.
Perfect. I do have to go, but thank you guys.
Thanks again, Landon. Appreciate it. Woo!
Have a good one.
I was doing the math when he told us how old he was or what age he was when he started. And I said, the guy can't be 21 years old. He's like, that would make him 30 or 31 now. He doesn't act like a 30, 31-year-old, does he? No. So you 30, 31-year-olds, think about what's going on here. What's going on with this guy? This guy has done more in 31 years and in the last 9 years than most real estate agents do in their lifetime, but let alone into their 60s. So it can be done. It is done. And he seems pretty mellow about it. So that was my fun. What did you guys learn?
It's hard work.
Tess,
Hard work. It's all about hard work and consistency. He just makes his business very simple. I used to role play with him. Such a nice guy.
No, he's a terrific guy.
That's
Well,
it.
but he didn't make me feel like he's working hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does, don't get me wrong. But he didn't make me feel like he's working hard. He made me feel like he's doing his job consistently every single workday. Look, the guy's got 5 kids. He's got a wife. He moved to a town originally where he knew no one. I mean, I don't know if some of you don't realize the gold mine you have in your database. But here's a guy that moved from ground zero, nothing, nada, okay? And he was able to do that. So anyway, who else has something else they want to say?
You know, I'll bet for a guy like that, though, Neil, is that was probably a blessing from him starting at ground zero with nothing, because he just had to go do the work.
Right,
where
we,
some-
I guess your point, I'm sorry, I had to move from the camera, but I guess your point is that he didn't have a choice. He was, I made that comment. He was, he was, and well, was a have to at the time.
right.
So that had to get done.
It had to get up. Remember Bernie Gallerini said the same thing when he moved to Tennessee. He only knew one person there, and that was the best thing because he had to learn the skills. He had to get the prospecting down. He had to do the work because he couldn't rely on, well, people know me. And I think I get that sometimes with people's databases as well. They know I'm in real estate. They'll call me if they need anything. And so we're sitting on these pretend deals instead of just assuming that they're not there and getting in and doing the work.
That's a great point.
Neil, what's interesting, is there an echo? Or no?
Yeah, there's an echo, but it's you.
But it's okay. You're going to say something intelligent, so we'll hear it twice.
It's interesting. Yeah, thank you, Robert. Gosh, that's great. That's great. What's interesting is in just listening to the people that you're interviewing, the more two things, the more consistency that we have in dialing, the more consistent we have in our business, and the more contacts we make every day. Like these guys, he's committed to making a certain amount of contacts every day. The simpler his systems are. The fewer amount of contacts we make, now we're, okay, we got to put this system in place and this system in place and this and that to help us make up for the lack of contacts that we make every day. But if we're making a ton of contacts every single day, we don't have time for systems. We're going on appointments and we're getting listings and we're getting closed and we're closing and making paychecks. Holy smokes, somebody really is trying to get a hold of me. So anyway, I just made an observation. The more contacts we make, the less systems we need. The less contacts we make, the more systems we need. It's something.
And you get to a point where you don't have to, where you've got your database and everything running, and you make 6 or 8 contacts a day, and you take a couple listings, 2, 3, 4 listings a week, because you do that because that's how you set up your life. Everybody thinks this is a grind. It's not a grind. This is a business. Hey, you know what? I just thought of something. You guys talk about a grind. Let me tell you something. You know what a grind is? A grind is having to go to own a McDonald's, but have to go there every morning and open the door and let the people in and hope you're going to have some customers. And you got to grind the meat and you got to cook the buns and you got to do all that kind of crap that you got to do when you own a McDonald's, or worse, you manage the McDonald's and you don't own the damn thing. So everybody who makes money, it's a grind. If you don't grind, you don't make money. Stop it. This grind crap. I don't want to grind. Okay. Jeez.
May I?
Please go ahead, Martin.
I just want to say thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil.
For having a
Every-
tantrum.
Being dad.
Yes,
Being dad
thank
for a
you.
lot of us.
Just thank you. All right. Thank you.
You know what I can say for that when you keep repeating that, Neil? You got to really open your ears. But if you can't really hear, use a hearing aid.
You think I need one? Is that what you're saying?
All right.
What?
Really hear. Because you repeated it so many times.
Oh my God, it just makes me crazy. I hear this. I don't want to have to grind. Okay, don't. Mike said this on stage years ago. And then he actually put a casket on stage. Okay. I forgot exactly the words, but he would tell people, if you don't want to do it, just get in a casket and wait. Because that's the deal, guys and gals. Get up off your tushes and go make things happen instead of waiting for them to happen. You get a guy like Landon, then that's really why I brought him back was look at this guy, every day in every way, scripts, dialogues, and nobody wants to hear it. Let's move on to something else. Who else had something they learned?
What's interesting too, Neil, is, if you look at the last couple people we've interviewed, Landon's a driver.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was an amiable.
No, he is not. He's a driver. You had David last week, who was highly analytical. You had DK the week before, who's an expressive, over-expressive. And what's funny is that no matter what their personality style is, no matter where they're from, Utah, Canada, Arizona, they all do the same stuff. And they all have the same type of schedule, and they're all getting the same type of results. So it's, you know, it doesn't matter what your personality style is. It doesn't matter what market you're in. Everyone that's doing 100+ deals is they're all doing the same exact things. They present it in different ways based on your personality style. So it's just a testament that no matter what, just follow the system. Just follow the system and you're going to be just fine in any market and any personality style.
Robert and I are so passionate about this that we trip over each other trying to convince everybody else that what's good for them. Because this is crazy. All right. Go ahead, Patrick.
Now, I went back and looked at my Superstar retreat notes from when Landon was on stage. And his contacts per day that I had written down was 32. 32 contacts per day, which is not a whole lot in my economy. But the thing that I picked up out of what he was saying today was that a lot of it, most of it, his secret sauce is in his follow-up. He commented on if somebody's not returning his phone call that was a prospect, then he goes and he knocks on their door.
Right.
You know, to me, it seems like it's the follow-up that's really the critical point to.
Well, it's certainly critical in his world, and it's critical in most of our worlds, is that I just had this conversation with somebody today. I actually told him to stop prospecting today, stop and spend the rest of the week following up. Because what happens is we all keep prospecting, and we get a new shiny lead, and then we follow up that new shiny lead. We keep prospecting over here, and we get another new shiny lead, and we go in that direction. We forget about this was a great shiny lead over here yesterday, and nurtured, it will become a deal. But because we left it for the new shiny lead over here, we forget about this one. Stop. Everybody. Don't prospect anymore today. Go follow up the leads you have. Just do that. And watch what happens. What else did we learn? Great stuff, Patrick. Thank you.
You know, Neil, I since no one else will talk, I'll be the expressive of the group. I really like what he mentioned in regarding the pre-qual. I mean, obviously, Lonnie said that if you don't pre-qual, don't even go. But he bases his answers on the pre-qual and how he goes about the presentation. You know, if they say, yeah, I'm going to list with you, you know, I'm not interviewing anyone else, then he's not going to go in there and say, well, one of three things is going to happen tonight. You'll either have he just says, okay, great. You're going to list with me. You're not interviewing anyone else. Let's get in. Let's talk about the price. Let's talk about the commission. Good. We're done. You know, so it's like another version of almost like a 1-minute presentation instead of doing all that. So I really like how he did that. But you have to really listen to the pre-qual answers to be able to do that. But I just like how he put that all together.
No, it's great. Fantastic. Thanks, Robert. Really good.
Well, I like the fact that he mentioned that he knows all the scripts verbatim, and it took him the first 2 years of his what is now a 10-year career to learn those. And it's amazing how many of us here don't know all the scripts when we've got an abundance of time, when we're not prospecting and generating leads and going out on appointments. That should be the thing that we are working on and mastering. Because then he said, then you can be you. And we know how important the scripts are and how good they are. And once we master those scripts, you know, we can make hay while the sun shines. And that is me why anybody on this call hasn't mastered the listing presentation. or doesn't know it inside and out. And I think that's critical. And he just said he just added the car part back to his script, where I know that a lot of people don't use the car part.
Right.
But it's all relevant. It's all essential. That's why it's in there.
It's all pieces of the great puzzle. Good stuff. By the way, hey, Fred,
Yes.
can I find out what sound cards you're using? Your voice clarity over your computer is spectacular. So can we get that information, or would you just give me your computer?
It's called Realtek, and it's on Dell. It comes as a default program.
Really?
And I
Works.
use these, but you know, they're not connected right now. They're connected.
When you were are you using the same equipment like when you were broadcasting?
Nope.
Huh.
Nope. This is equipment cheap 101, Plantronics and whatever Dell comes with. But thank you very much.
So I guess it's the voice.
It might be. Thank you.
Good
It's
job.
all
Excellent.
natural.
Exactly, Tess, exactly.
You know, you asked him what his what's his magic, or what's his magic formula? What's his secret sauce?
Secret power.
No,
Yeah.
superpower. Consistency.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
Consistency is the key to success. Consistency.
You know, we talk about that stuff all the time. Okay, let's wrap it up. Anyone else have anything else they want to ask or share before we close it down and send you
Yeah, I
back?
thought it was kind of interesting that he had, I came in late, but I thought it was interesting that he had a lot of accountability partners in several different areas. And he knows that he doesn't want to pay money, so he used that to his benefit. So it kind of gets him jump started, and it's a spark that, hey, I'm falling along the wayside and I know it, but here's something that'll get me back up. I ain't paying you guys nothing. That's such a great
Right.
motivator.
Well, some of it's money. Some of it, when he talked about the wheel of doom, is you know, he has 6, 8, 10 different items on there. One of them is that if it lands on the wheel of doom and he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, he has to put eyelashes on for the day.
Oh boy.
You know, and walk around and go on appointments with them. You imagine that conversation?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Wow.
very interesting stuff. Okay, I don't have anything else. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. I've got another great interview next week. I mean, it's just one after another, so don't miss out on that one. Had a lot to do with a lot of good stuff. I'm just going to tell you that they're all don't miss, but next week is a real don't miss. You got to be there to really hear the passion from this person. Robert, who's next in the prospecting line?
We got Emily, Frank, Armin, Freddie, and at 3:30, I got a class on how to maximize your profit on a listing, which includes how to leverage it to get another one. So jam-packed afternoon.
Love it. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much. Jesse will have this. I think we're current right now on all our videos, right, Robert?
We are indeed.
All right.
So
Thank
so
you,
probably,
Neil.
but usually by Monday they're up. Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh, he's out Monday. Tuesday.
Who's out, man?
Jesse.
Whoa. Gave him that information.
I don't know. I'll look into it.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Thank you. By the way, Robert, this was recorded on my computer.
Okay.